Hey fellow adventurers, welcome back to another Sleepy Sunday, as today we play Avendar once again. Last we left off, we were exploring a monastery and wandering about a bit. You may notice the map has changed slightly. That's because I recently did a tutorial on how to use our map maker here. But ultimately nothing should be too terribly different. I think we took some damage. A lion may have tried to kill us, but we managed to flee or something. But alright, if memory serves correctly, we were simply investigating the outer parts of the monastery, and I think we lost connection for some reason, and it DC'd us, and I had to quit abruptly, so I apologize for that. However, I believe we were out here, and there was a well. That's right. We were trying to drink from the well. Going east further, we see a garden. The local garden sprawls pleasantly behind the monastery's central enclosure. Vegetables are planted in orderly rows, the dark earth fertile enough for an impressive yield relative to their size. The footprints of residents mark out paths between the rows, and a small surrounding fence keeps forest denizens mostly at bay. Unlike other sections of the monastery exterior, there are no lanterns along the roof's edge. The air carries the monastery's communal fountain. The air carries the mild sting of fertilizer and the heady aroma of tilled earth. The monastery's communal fountain lies to the west, while the garden continues to the south. To the east is the ward's grassy yard. Going east takes us to a lush green yard. Outside of the monastery ward, a grassy strip has been cleared for patients to enjoy. The grass is long and lush, spotted with the occasional dandelions and small shrubs hunch beneath the monastery's large windows. Here the scents of the forest follow the wind through its branches at the yard's edges, Nendor's wild encroachment becoming impassable. A small line of hanging lanterns hang from the edge of the ward's sloped roof, keeping the yard lit at night. The verdant expanse continues to the east, while the local monastic garden opens to the west. Going south, we find ourselves in a monastery garden, the local garden, and this is pretty much the same. Although it does say a plot for growing carrots is set in the north. A cabbage patch grows within this garden. A Caladeran gardener pulls a weed, putting it in a burlap sack. They don't even toss out their weeds, they put them in sacks. And then this last part is another monastery garden with Kaleji, who says, I have a small request. If you would consider indulging me, will you help? I don't want to disturb the others. So we do have the opportunity for a quest here in the cabbage patch. What I'm more interested in doing is seeing if we can take some of these cabbages, because if we can take cabbages? Alright, I don't want to do it in front of somebody. Can we examine the garden? I do not see that there. Okay. Wasn't there a harvest command? Like, nodes or something? Hold on, help node? Harvesting nodes. So let's harvest the garden. Can't find it. Harvest carrots? Carrot. Carrots. Hey, you gather a bunch of carrots from a cultivated plot. You receive 25 experience points. We just got paid 25 EXP to rob a monastery. Guys. I think our food problems are over. Holy mackerel, look at this. Look at that. We have a bunch of carrots. Can we harvest that again? All you can acquire for now has been gathered. Okay, well that's something. But did we just find our first food source? Holy crap. We can drink the water here? Well, okay, drink from the well here. Okay, we're going to try and harvest these cabbages. Hopefully Kaleji doesn't get mad. Can't find it. Let's see here. Hey, there we go. You gather a head of cabbage from a cabbage patch. You receive 25 EXP. Can we do it again? No. Alright. But still. Oops. But still. This is, we now have 3 food items. Holy mackerel. This is funny, because so I explored these rooms while I was doing the tutorial. I was doing using these rooms as an example for mapping and then exploring new areas. But I was doing the tutorial so quickly, I didn't get to read any of this. So the fact that I can't believe we were so close this whole time, guys. I mean, think about this. This is the Forest of Nendor, right? Up here, we find our path into you know, what is it? Can't even remember. Varbandor. We've been wandering around killing pigeons like a fool when we could have been harvesting carrots and cabbages from this monastery up here. Ah, amazing. Alright. Well, let's... Ireka says, you might want to wash your hands or something. Food is here. Ireka says, all of your hard work leads to deliciousness like this, so please enjoy it. Ireka puts down the platter, leaving it for others to take what they will. Wait, what? Hold on. Is there a platter here? Plot for growing. Okay. Can we take the platter? I don't think it's here. I think it's just like narratively here. I feel bad already. The monastery has already let us harvest their carrots and cabbages. It would be horrible to steal food from this Ethron girl, but at the same time... Talaris? Wait a minute, guys. Is this how the narrative goes? Talaris. Hold on. How old are we? We're 25. I really need to update our description because I'm sure it says we're a young man. Hold on. Let's look at Talaris. Yeah. And I swear, I did not add you notice a fiery crimson gleam in his eyes. I did not put that in there. I don't know who put that in there. However, you see a young human male. We probably need to edit that so that it says like a human male. I mean, it's a quick description. It's not that different, but I'm gonna update it really quickly here. Okay, how do we do this? Okay, I think we're just gonna clear it out and then okay, good. I'm just gonna add all that in there. I think. Hopefully. There. It says a human male. At least it represents the fact that we are... Guys, Talaris is 25. We're mature now. Anyway, so is this the plot, though, of Talaris, right? He goes to college, he drops out, he wanders around the town as some drunk bum, he hangs around the fountain and kills pigeons for food, he goes out into the savannah and gets mauled by a tiger, and finally finds solace as an Ethron monk in a Caladeran monastery. I guess we're not actually an Ethron, but let me talk to the guard. I think a Kali druid. I thought this was a Caladeran monastery. I can't read quick enough. I'm trying to skim the description of the gate. Let's see. Revealing the monastery. We are at the Chezni Monastery. I don't know why I thought this was a Caldaren monastery. Probably because it's got a Caldaren monk on the outside. Oh well. Curiously, can we harvest carrots again? No. Alright. We'll have to get a feel for the timer on that. Meanwhile, let's identify the food. See, a bunch of carrots. Flags none, weight 1.5, wear none, level 3 food, and food are the material and type. Let's identify the cabbage. Same, but a little heavier. Okay. What I'm really trying to figure out is when it expires, when it rots. Because I know that a lot of the food items from animals immediately rot. But yeah, okay. What does this person want us to do? Kaleji. I think we type begin, right? Okay. Kaleji gives you a sealed letter. She says, or he? Is it she or he? It is a woman. When I feel something profound, I write a letter about it to Farias, who lives in Korthrandir. If you visit the keep, would you give him this? We have received a letter. Oh, we only have... Well, we have a very short amount of time to do this. Lady, we don't even know where Korthrandir is. Say Korthrandir? Huh, great. Maybe this dude that we talked to, we can sit and ask him about Korthrandir. Oops. Say Korthrandir. Nothing. Okay, maybe we can ask about Kaleji. Come on, old man. I thought you said... Oh, here we go. This took him a moment. Kaleji is a fragile flower, enough that you worry a strong wind might pull... Oh, great. Hold on, let me disable the map. Oops. Oh my goodness, old man, you talk so much. Kaleji is a fragile flower, enough that you worry a strong wind might pull off her petals, but no less beautiful for it. She was born in Korthrandir, although you'd never know it, with as soft as a heart, as her heart is. From what I understand, if you're born in the keep, you have to serve in the Lord Protector's army. She wouldn't have it, she wouldn't be party to war, not even as an assistant to Farias. It takes a bold person to abandon their home to preserve their principles. She picked up what meager supplies she had and snuck out of the city one night during the change of the guard. One of the monks, a human lad named Orison, found her starving and alone somewhere in the Brentor Mountains. He brought her here to see if Kisjam and I could help her. We did, of course. This sanctuary is a place where roots can grow deep, and we offered her a new home. She accepted. You likely know, if you've seen her working, that she's in charge of the local garden. It doesn't produce many crops, but I swear she raises the best vegetables you'll ever taste. In a lot of ways, I think of her as the daughter I never had. If my wife had survived, I'd like to imagine our child would have been as sweet as Kaleji is. Alajiel puts in our path exactly the things and people we need. I'd like to feel she taught me that. In a lot of ways, okay, right. Alright, interesting. Well, guys, I don't think we're going to find our way to Korthrandir within 100 hours, simply because we just don't know where that is. But, okay. Guess we'll just keep exploring the monastery. Oh, whoops. Let's turn on the mapper. Find yourself in a cramped hallway. This small spur off the western section of the monastery is cramped, barely wide enough for two people to pass each other in it. Despite leading to the complex's earthen cellar, the well-worn floor is swept meticulously clear of dirt or debris. The ceiling here is a bit low, suggesting that this hall was a late addition to the construction. Two small windows set at shoulder level provide light for the room during the day, while the bronze lantern in the east corner handles the rest. The scent of earth is stronger here, and the air is cooler than elsewhere in the monastery. The western vestibule lies to the north, while the spur continues westward to a stairwell. Alright, we'll just keep going down the hallway. Find yourself in the passage to the cellar. The small spur off the western section of the monastery is cramped, barely wide. Okay, we already read this, despite leading. Okay, one small window set at... Okay, we already read that as well. The spur continues to the east and transitions into a dry storage for the kitchen to the west. We are now in a well-stocked dry storage. Connected to the monastery kitchen is a storage area meant to hold dry or immediate supplies for its cook. Jars of preserved fruit, strings of hanging herbs, sacks of flour, and other necessities are all present within its confines. The northern wall has the largest shelves, which stand about 8 feet high. The southern counterpart is about 4, allowing room for the blurry glass window above it. The floor is scuffed but swept clear, as this is the most direct route from the kitchen to the monastery cellar. While the scent of meals linger in the air, the bite of dry herbs and the dull tone of flour temper it. To the west is the kitchen proper, while the cramped stairwell to the underground lies east. Can we search this room? You search the shelves for anything you can take, but you find nothing useful. Search again. You search the shelves for anything you can take. You discover a jar of apple preserves on one of the shelves. Oh boy. Oh boy. Is this... So here's something we have to manage, right? I don't think Talaris is a thief, but at the same time, he has been scrapping around for food for quite some time. And I also have to consider, how much separation can we make between the mechanics of the game and the actual roleplay aspect, right? Because on some level, this is still a game, right? It's kind of like when you play Zelda and you go into someone's house and you open up all their chests and take all their money. It's not really like Link is stealing. That just happens to be where the developers put the chests for you to find. So I don't know if we can necessarily consider this stealing so much as it's just a part of the game where you can happen to steal away into the cellars of this well-stocked monastery and grab a couple jars of apple preserves. Unless, I'm going to say, unless the game recognizes it as stealing, I'm going to consider it not stealing. And maybe that's a bit of a loophole, but I just don't have any other... There's a limit to the role-playing, right? Like, if this was truly a full-on role-playing game, perhaps we could ask someone if we could take these extra apple reserves, or perhaps we could even work off a debt to pay it to them. But since we can't, we are simply going to take them here. And I don't know, these might not come back. They might be like the nodes. We're not finding anything. Did we just get really lucky on that second search? Oh, no, we found a jar of peach marmalade on one of the shelves. Interesting. So we have some apple preserves and some peach marmalade. It does say it's a well-stocked storage. Oh no, we're hungry. You discover a sack of flour on one of the shelves. Wow, there's just all sorts of cooking materials around here. Okay, we have cabbage. Oh wait, we didn't actually take... We didn't actually take the items. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's take the jar. Take the jar and take the flour. Okay, let's do some cooking. We'll eat one of the cabbages since we're hungry. You eat the head of cabbage. The cabbage is fresh and full and its leaves taste tender and sweet. Holy crap, guys. Holy crap, guys. We are not hungry. That cabbage filled us up. I mean, admittedly, if I ate an entire head of cabbage just raw, I'd probably be pretty full too. But I think really what is shocking me here is the fact that, assuming that nodes replenish, which, if we're to believe the tutorial, they do, we have finally done it. We finally found a replenishable food supply. I'm gonna see if the node reset. Oh, okay. No, it didn't. I thought for a second there it said that we grab more, but I got too excited. Anyway. Looks like the map added a down. Oh, we can go down into the cellar. Interesting. Should we go down? Yeah, why not? Oh wow, and the automapper automatically adds that in. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay, so we went down into an ancient cellar. The cellar is by far the oldest part of the monastery, dating back to its inception at the close of the War of Night. It is dank, the walls cut from the dark earth of Dendor and supported by stone and ancient treated lumber. The floor is bare, packed dirt, save for the uncharacteristic stone steps that lead down to it. Here the locals store whatever needs to remain cool: large barrels of beer from Errol, crates of extra clothing, and stores of wax and lamp oil included. The air is cool, close, and heavy, smelling of rich earth and timeless stone. The cellar continues north, while the monastery proper waits above. A bicolored tabby cat lies curled up on top of a barrel, snoozing. A bicolored tabby cat gets up, stretches out, and wanders off. That's funny. Interesting. What if we search this area? Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything actually here. Is the cat here? It said it wandered off, but it didn't say where. Huh. Oh well, let's just... Oh, right. I hit north thinking it was up, but it's actually north. There's more to the cellar to explore. Okay, here it says large square crates are stacked against the cellar wall. Otherwise, there doesn't seem to be anything particularly interesting in the description other than we can go east and west. Let's go east. Ooh, we find ourselves in a medicinal workshop. The eastern portion of the cellar is devoted to the herbal and alchemical researches, a stark contrast to the frugal utility of the rest. The air is more dry than in the rest of the underground, with rune stones like those that control the sanctuary, embedded in the flat stone of the walls. The floor is bare, packed dirt, hard and merciless underfoot. Tall shelves line two of the walls, each packed with herbs and liquids, marked with small tags. The third secures a workbench for local medicinal experimentation. Instead of oil light, two glowing orbs sustain a more or less even ambience throughout the chamber. The cellar continues to the west. We find Katoke. Katoke labels a new regent and places it on the shelves. Is this a male or female? I'm researching some new possibilities on how to make a remedy for the eye blight. What I'm after is pricey, though. Would you consider helping me? I would love to help you guys, but I'm already delivering a letter. You know, oh crap, we're hungry again. We're already delivering a letter. You know, I don't really feel like we're available right now. Go west. A huge wooden barrel sits in the corner of this room. Let's examine the barrel. This huge wooden barrel is marked as having come from the Errol Brewery. A tap has been put into the barrel's side, allowing an enterprising individual to get a drink, if they so wished. Cool. Let's drink from the barrel. You drink beer from a huge wooden barrel. You feel drunk. You are full. Alright. You know, there was a large square crates here. Let's examine the crates. A series of large crates are stacked on top of another against the cellar's earthen walls. Each is made of wood and heavy, with basic supplies such as cloth, grain, or oils. A small rune of earth marks a few of them, sealing those from unwanted prying. Some large square crates resources are ready to be gathered. Oh. Okay. I mean, is this stealing? It says they're ready to be gathered. The unwanted ones, rather the ones that were unwanted to be tampered with, are locked. I don't think it is a monastery after all, right? They, I'm sure, would be willing to help a poor, starving college student, college dropout, worthless bum. Let's harvest the crates. Gather a sack of flour from some large square crates. I wonder if we can harvest again. No. Okay. I wonder if we can harvest these crates. You gather a sack of flour. Okay. Well, just flour, I guess. Oops. Automapper got a little confused there. Let me just fix this. There we go. Okay. So we have a lot of flour. We're a little tipsy from that beer. We have some preservatives. Okay. For good measure, we'll search one more time. Oh, nothing. I think west is a kitchen. Let's go check that out. We find ourselves in the monastery kitchen. On the southern side of the monastery's dining hall is the kitchen, tasked with preparing food for both residents and visitors. The walls are unpainted wood, instead favoring a pleasant varnish. This is not echoed in the floor, which is both unfinished and stained from cooking-related incidents. Prominent within is a central stone hearth and matching chimney, and two well-fashioned counters for preparation. A window is set into the western wall, allowing natural light during most mealtimes. The scent of the hearth is ever present. Is it hearth or hearth? Hearth. I think it's hearth. Masked only by the flavorful aromas of meals made or in progress. The dining area waits to the north, while a dry storage lies to the east. A teenage Ethron girl helps with the monastery's meals. A squinty brown Nefortu flits about the kitchen. Selak tells you, I am making deliciousness here. Yes, I am. That's what I am doing. I need ingredients to make more. You will get them, yes? Say yes. Not at the moment, my friend. Going north enters into a communal dining hall. The largest and most active area of the monastery's west side is the dining room. It serves all of the monks and devoted who live in the complex grounds, as well as visitors from Errol, Varbandor, and beyond. The ceiling is high and supported by beams of Nendoran oak. The wooden walls are unpainted, instead favoring a pleasant varnish. Long communal tables and benches line the area, encouraging community between those who eat there. The air smells of food at almost all hours, either from what is being prepared or was for the last meal. To the south is the monastery's kitchen, while the dining area continues further to the north and east. A Nethron child looks curiously at his surroundings. To the east, we can find a dirty street urchin who looks suspiciously around before grabbing a handful of food. Here, a human villager leans down to get a large bite of an apple. And here, an elderly Ethron villager looks around the room, smiling to himself. Looks like we can go east, west. Wow, we're hungry again. I guess cabbages don't really fill you up very much. I suppose we'll just eat these preserves. Now here's a question. Can we make dough? Can we mix... use flour with the jug? Use jug... Pour jug... Flour? You can only pour into other drink containers. Ah, okay. I'm trying to see if maybe we could make some bread or something. Let's identify the flour. It is simply a food item. Holy crap, it weighs a ton. Are we burdened? No, we're unencumbered. Even though it weighs 30 whatever those are. I'm assuming pounds, but then again this could be kilo whatever the rest of the world uses. Kilometers. No. Let's see here. Our weight is 144. Oh well. I guess we're fine. We'll just keep going west. Find yourself at the side entrance to the monastery. Outside the monastery's communal dining is a small lawn of thick grass. Unlike the yard behind the local ward, the wildlife here is far less tame. Nendoran oaks rise high to the north and west, and the underbrush crowds out easy passage. A cobbled path cuts through the area, its stones old and smooth, lined at regular intervals with wooden lampposts. The edge of the monastery's sloped roof bears hanging lanterns, providing ample light for a nighttime trek. The air here is clear and wild, drawn through the branches and underbrush from within the forest itself. A few stone steps lead up to the monastery's west entrance, while the stone path leads south. So it seems like this is the exit of the monastery, so we probably don't want to go that way. Not just yet, anyway. Going here, we find ourselves in the western vestibule. Now wait, hold up. I think there might be a mapping error here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. The western vestibule wasn't actually a new room. It's this room. Right here, 237, 236. Let me just take this, we'll just layer it on top. We'll merge the rooms. I think the reason it tried to spread out the rooms like this is because when we went underground, it was trying to take into account the cellar underground. But we don't really need that, I don't think, because the cellar was really small. I'm also starting to wonder if maybe we should have included the monastery as its own map. It certainly does seem to be large enough, or rather it's getting large enough that we could consider its own map, although I kind of like including it in the Forest of Nendor map. Makes the forest feel a little more robust. So I'm going to just keep it here for now. There's more monastery to the east, so we'll figure out what that's all about. Find ourselves in the eastern vestibule. On the east side, of the sanctuary's druidic enclosure is the gateway to this side of the monastery. This vestibule serves as a small resting area with low wooden benches set against the wall for monks or petitioners. The structure itself is built entirely from Nendoran timber, with heavy wooden beams supporting the ceiling and treated planks forming its walls. On clear days, light filters into the room through 4 uneven glass skylights, otherwise it is lit by a central hanging bronze lantern. The sweet, heady scents of the sanctuary drift into the room, tempered by the faint odor of smoke and oil. To the north is the local ward, to the south, sleeping quarters, and to the east, an ascetic common area. We'll go north. Find yourself in a soothing ward. The monastery ward is a simple affair built out of Nendoran timber and painted in soothing pink. Pink! Dear word. Windows, large and clean, are the most prominent feature of its north side, giving patients important exposure to the monastery exterior. The floor is made of worn hardwood, scuffed from decades of use, but clear of any noticeable stains. A line of cots follow the southern wall, giving the suffering a place to sleep during their stay. The air is fresh, a cross breeze between its 2 doors, keeping it from becoming too hot in the summer. To the south, a door leads further into the monastery, while the ward continues east. A wounded soldier tries unsuccessfully to sleep on one of the cots. A pale Ethron boy sits on the ground, his skin covered in black spots. How terrible. There's nothing we can do. We're not a healer. Let's see here. Find yourself just in another section of the ward, nothing interesting in the description. A Caladeran child levitates a pebble above her palm. A burned blacksmith applies some cream to one of his burns, exhibiting a white aura. The distinguished Liranen watches over the monastery ward. An injured Caladeran woman fidgets despite herself, wincing in agony. Seems like we are truly in the hospital, and this Liranen must be the owner of the hospital. Going east further, we see again part of the ward. This part having a sickly man who lies on one of the cots, drifting in and out of consciousness. North continues into the ward. Sorry, not ward. No, it doesn't. We're in a lush green yard now. Okay, so we've exited the ward. Outside of the monastery ward, a grassy strip has been cleared for patients to enjoy. The grass is long and lush, spotted with the occasional dandelions and small shrub hunch beneath the... Wait, we've already read this description. I recognize this description. But this is a new room, so... I bet it connects up here. We should probably extend this, shouldn't we? Probably like that. Okay. In here, a Caladeran scholar utters a word in arcane and pulses with a white glow. We'll go west. Find yourself in a lush green yard again. There's nothing new in the description. However, we do see a translucent Docti. The Legionin Spirit Master lingers as if suspended in place. Well, okay then. So a floating dude is out there. Okay, we'll go south from the east part of the vestibule. We find ourselves in the resting quarters. The resting quarters for the monastery are quite Spartan indeed. Most noticeably, there are no cots. Instead, a series of thin bedrills have been rolled out on the wooden floor close together, and no apparent other furniture. The walls are beige and comforting in the way only something well-worn and lived in can be. There are no lamps above or mounted to the walls, and the room's light comes from a series of blurry windows built into the southern wall. While still relatively fresh, it's probably supposed to be relatively fresh. While still relatively fresh, the air carries with it some of the animal closeness one would expect of a living space. The eastern vestibule waits to the north, while the resting quarters continue to the east. A silent Ethron monk paces silently, her face blank but at peace. Alright. Find yourself in another part of the resting quarters. Nothing seems to jump out at me here, so we'll just keep exploring it. Another part of the resting quarters. Although this one has a teenaged Kali maiden beams with pride as she folds a completed robe. She tells us her name is Valaway. Maybe you could help me with something. No, I'm good. Solaris got other things to do, lady. Okay. To the east, we are in the entrance to a Legionen Hall. The central eastern section of the monastery is the oldest still standing, housing its local psionicists. While not the original construction, it has been faithfully tended, repaired, and rebuilt by the Legionen Order for centuries. Massive wooden supports in the walls and overhead support the east side of the sloped roof, and its wooden walls are painted a mild off-white. Bronze lanterns are mounted on each side of the hall to light the interior with burning oil. Because of the series of open doorways, fresh air mingles its way into the hall, relieving it of its closeness. To the east, the section continues, while to the west is the eastern vestibule. A human monk stands before the threshold of the hall interior. Let's keep going east. Oh, human monk says, "You may only pass with permission of the Legionen Order." Okay. So I guess we can't go that way. Well, I think that pretty much covers the monastery, doesn't it? I am going to move these just so that it makes a little bit more sense. Oh, nuts. I moved them wrong. Okay, let's try this again. The mapper is not making this convenient. Mostly I just want to get it out of the way of the passageway back to Varbandor. Okay, not perfect, but it'll work. I'm sure that's going to cause problems when we go south. If this connects here, it's probably going to cause a lot of problems. But, oh well. It looks better that way. We're hungry again. I guess we'll go raid the pantry. Oh, the tabby cat is here. I want to look at this cat. Though mostly gray, this tabby cat has large white patches on her feet and belly. The lower half of her face is all white too. A distinct M shape stands out on her forehead, marked out by her tabby stripes. She looks well fed, pudgy even, from a regular diet of mice and table scraps, but her fur is dusty from long periods spent roaming the cellars. One ear is a little notched, suggesting a bit more of history to her than just a lazy existence here in the monastery. A bicolored tabby cat is in excellent condition. We're apparently thirsty, so we're gonna have to go grab some water. Wouldn't be a bad idea to... Well, I thought one of these was the monastery. Maybe this is it. Or not monastery, the well. Oh, right! Forgot to read. What's in the news of Avendar today? Currently in Avendar, there is one character, level 12, adventuring now. I wonder who that could be. The most recent advancement, Egghen, has reached level 27 in his guild. The most recent death, Samver, has died recently. Rest in peace, Samver. And our rumor for today, a knowledgeable traveler can cut through the North Forest and go from the Erindam Road to the Brintor Road. Well, we are neither a knowledgeable traveler, nor do we know where those places even are. Ugh, we're hungry. Well, I'm glad we found a replenishable supply of food, but I will admit, that food goes quick. The carrots are quite firm, but after the first heavy crunch, they split evenly between your teeth. How nice. Now we gotta see if we can harvest those carrots again. Hey, we can. Oops. Can't spell harvest. Okay. Well, now that we've got our carrots... Oh, I moved too quick there. Okay. We'll do a couple more searches in the storeroom. Mostly because... I don't know. I mean, if the monastery has been explored at this point, I suppose we could try to find... What was it? Core Thrandir? And if we're going to go out adventuring, we're going to need a little bit of food. So we don't have to keep running back to the savannah to kill squirrels. Having trouble finding anything now. Can we just eat the flour? I mean, that seems wrong, right? Like, normally you would need to mix flour at least with water, you would assume. But I suppose nothing is stopping you from just consuming flour. Ah, we discovered another sack of flour. That's funny. We'll have to make sure to take it, though. Oh, and a jar. Nice. I feel like if we find like one more jar of preserves or something, we're probably good. You still have the carrots and cabbages and whatnot. Dolores must just be rummaging around like, ah, there has to be something. Okay, we'll take that last jar. We're hungry again, though. The vegetables don't really fill us up very much. We seem to be experiencing some kind of lag. Oh well. Okay, I think we're gonna take a quick pause there. When we come back, we're gonna be exploring whatever wilds await on the western side of the monastery. So, we'll be there in just a moment.